How will Australians benefit from the Albanese Labor government's action on energy prices? What has been the response to the government's action, and what approaches has the government rejected?
Give the call to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. I thank my honourable friend for his question and his leadership on matters of climate change and energy. I'm looking forward to joining his electrification forum in a couple of weekends' time. But, Mr Speaker, in relation to our energy relief plan, I'm happy to report to the honourable member that in our home state of New South Wales, for example, increases of 40% that were predicted have now, for those households which have received our rebates negotiated with the states, has changed to an 8% reduction, Mr Speaker, from a 40% increase to an 8% reduction, which on average for a family in New South Wales equates to $843, the impact of our intervention of relief. And we know that this has had a very substantial impact. We've heard from the Secretary of the Treasury that our energy relief package has reduced inflation by 0.75%, and half of the percent is a result of the coal and gas caps which have been opposed by those opposite. We heard from the energy regulator, the Australian energy regulator, last week that the intervention would have has seen prices changes from 50% increases down to around 20%. And we've seen also AEMO note the impact of the government's intervention, the impact of our intervention to reduce power price rises. I'm asked if we have rejected any alternative approaches, and we have. The approach from the Leader of the Opposition, who said at APIA he would rip up this intervention, that he would repeal it. Now, why would a Leader of the Opposition possibly do such a thing? Why would he repeal an intervention which has seen increases of 40% change to a reduction of 8%? Well, I think I might have worked it out. I think the Leader of the Opposition has been receiving poor advice from his shadow minister. His shadow minister was on Sunday agenda, and he was asked about these price rises. At first, he denied them. He denied the impact of our energy price relief, and then he had a different. And then he had a different. Then he had a different alibi. He said, and I quote:
"Minister will pause for a moment." The member for Fairfax is warned. If he says one more thing during question time, you simply cannot yell while a minister is speaking. And same with the member for Hume, who has the MPI, will not be saying another word for the rest of question time, I'm sure. The minister has the call and will be heard in silence.
Mr Speaker, the member for Fairfax went on to say, so there's no evidence here that the intervention itself was the thing that got prices down. No evidence that the intervention itself was the thing that got prices down. This creates a considerable mystery. What was it? Was it the coronation, Mr Speaker? Was it the final episode of Succession, perhaps? No spoilers. Was it Sweden winning the Eurovision Song Contest? Was it the honourable member's videos from Fukushima and Hiroshima promoting nuclear energy? I mean, what was it that could have got energy prices down over the last 6 months, Mr Speaker? What possibly could it have been? What possibly could it have been? Perhaps it was the intervention designed to do just that, which honourable members opposite opposed with every bit of energy they could muster, that they would repeal at the first opportunity. Perhaps it is the rebates and the coal and gas price caps which we imposed on the energy markets, Mr Speaker. Perhaps that's what done it. Perhaps that is what reduced the price rises.
Concluded.